How do I use rhetorical appeals, ethos, pathos, and logos?
Okay, so this is something that you should be using probably in middle school. Maybe just they've touched on it a bit, maybe they haven't called them rhetorical appeals. And it's something that you should use throughout your high school writing. You can use it in your language arts classes and in your history classes. So just to give you an idea of what these words mean, ethos is credibility. When the author or the speaker establishes trust. So it's words that they say, it's information that they provide that the listener or the reader can look at and think and realize that the person that's giving them this information is credible and is trustworthy. Whenever you're writing and you want to use ethos, you want to set up your wording so that you establish credibility and trust among your listeners or readers. And so it may be something where you give them a counterclaim, or you give your audience an opposition to your opinion, because that shows that you're not hiding anything and that you are a credible source. Logos, on the other hand, is establishing consistency and giving logic, logical explanations, logical reasons. So again, if you're listening to a speech, reading an essay, or writing yourself, you want to make sure that you present logical evidence, logical series of events. And so again, that still will help you establish credibility, because your audience will be able to trust you and they'll be able to look at your information with a logical understanding. Pathos, though, is emotion. This is where if you're listening to something and you start to feel sad or happy or scared, and you can also give your audience this sense of pathos when you give them statistics that maybe involve something that kind of it affects you emotionally, but also you want to make sure when you're writing to figure out what the prompt is, because sometimes pathos is not necessary. If you're writing something that's research-based, there's no reason to tug on your audience's heartstrings, because you really just want to give them the facts, and that'll again help you establish that credibility. So you use all of these things when you're writing or preparing for a speech. And you can look at a lot of historical speeches or even a lot of essays, persuasive essays that have been written in news articles, like in the op-ed section. They're going to use all of these things to try to get the audience on board. And for example, tonight, our president will be giving his State of the Union address, and it might be an interesting task for you to watch and listen and take note of every time that President Obama establishes credibility, appeals to your sense of logic, and also maybe even tugs on your heartstrings a little bit with that pathos.